All right, check, check, check. I think y'all can hear me now. I'm going to guess that I am audible. You can hear it now? Sweet. Yeah, I got rid of the microphone I was using. I don't think it was doing me any favors. Well, that was a short game. How's everybody doing tonight? I didn't realize you couldn't live stream on YouTube until you have 1,000 subscribers. That is crazy. It's good. It is good. It's been a good night, good day. Just like to get some practice in, and I always like practicing live because it adds kind of that extra focus, or pressure, or whatever you want to call it. So I like doing it. Four is kind of shitty. Oh well. So what you can do is you just have to have a computer set up, basically. If you go live from a desktop or a laptop or a tablet, it'll work, but you can't go from a mobile phone until you have 1,000. I just don't get it. Whatever. It's a YouTube thing. They do what they want, clearly. Can't really do anything about it. Stop! Stop! Oh, you little. Oh, that was harsh. Some good recovery shots, and I was just like, you know what? I'm done with your ass. Okay. You do you. Well, that's not the 9-ball. Do 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 do. you tried Rumble? No, I have not. So just another streaming platform? Oh, you would. You would. All right. Oh, you dirty. Okay. It's all right. It's just getting you right there. It's getting you right there. To find a way. Do. Sorry, I got Lion King stuck in my head. My 3-year-old daughter just loves the Disney themes right now, which I can't blame her for. They are very well written songs. But it's just the circle of life, you know? Circle of life. Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah, I just barely missed. Barely missed. Just kind of rolled and released on me, so whatevs. Okay. That was cute. Oh, shit. Woo! Okay, it's that kind of night. Okay. We good. Don't worry about it, baby. We all good. There we go. Finally got one. Friday night, and it feels all right. Party's here on the west side. Okay, it's a little bit. That's a little bit much. Do. Thanks, Todd. Appreciate it. Gonna leave me a shine on the one ball. Son of a bee. Well. It's a clean hit at least. Can't complain. All right, I rack them up. No shit. I do what I do. It's crazy, but it just might work. Just might work. Is it an Ever Medical School? How about we don't, Scotty? It is a 7 foot. Yeah. Tease what the tease. I think it's all right. Plays all right. The rails are a little bit not angled perfectly, but it is what it is. It was kind of a cute little bump on that. What's up, Ruben? It's my first YouTube live stream, so just testing it out, man. It's going well, though. It's a good Friday night. Tuned into Chris's stream for a little while. So I was like, all right. Might not have 50,000 people, but I can go live. Which I apparently found out I cannot do for my phone until I have 1,000 subscribers. So it is what it is. Give me that one, baby. Mm. I got Van Morrison in my head right now. That is freaking some good music. All the leaves on the trees are falling. Well, the night's magic seems to whisper and hush. Thanks, Todd. Yeah, it's draw is a tricky deal. I used to struggle with it a lot. A lot of times I would pop the cue ball off the table or whatever else. What I found with this shaft, the Q-Tech, it's great for a lot of things, but it was very different for me because I was playing with the Predator shaft, and when you're using draw, especially with this, what's weird about this is it's near zero deflection is what they talk about with it. So what I find interesting is that the cue doesn't deflect, but it throws the object ball more than a maple shaft, even if it's a low deflection maple shaft. So what's tricky is when you're using low in general, if you're using low with a maple shaft of any kind, it automatically like throws the ball more. I'm getting really deep here, but whatever. But with this shaft, you have to aim it totally weird. Like if you're cutting a ball here on this angle and using low, you actually have to aim right here to make it right here because it throws it so much, which is really hard to like. Took me a while to get used to that with this cue, but what's nice about that is it hits the object ball so much more full, so your cue ball control is like naturally better because you're hitting more of the object ball. This message brought to you by Subway. Stay open-ish. All right, cool. Where did you go anywhere? Told you to stay put. That's funny to me. All right. This thing's always in my way. Love it. Okay, I'm just going to set this right on over here. See if we can run to the 9 ball. Maybe he's shot somewhere. Hitting the ceiling? That's gotta be a foul. Gotta periodically check in. Ruben's playing some pool. That's sweet. This commercial is brought to you by Lowe's. Short on time, do a project that'll cost way too much money, and try to tell your wife, hey, isn't this great? And she's like, yeah, but how much did it cost? Ba-doom. Oh, man. I'm like, but it looks so cool. They're like, yeah, we don't care. I'm like, well, I'll go play pool. And she's like, why didn't you sell your pool table? I'm like, I don't know. Oh, man. Good times. Good times had by all. Oh, the side brake. It's coming out. Now we see why I don't really do that brake. I'm not in love with it. 5 ball. Yeah, 6. Whatever. I don't know. See what we do. Well, that's not exactly the angle I wanted. Man, if I would have bought that saw at Lowe's, I would have made that shit. Holiday savings here at Menards. Short on time? Need a pool table? Just take a piece of plywood, cut some holes in it, spend a lot of money on things that nobody understands, and I swear, man, the pool. To the people who created everything about pool, okay, let's talk about a few things, all right? Mostly dudes play, okay, but do we need to call it a shaft and tip and butt? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It's like they invented the game so that we'd all have jokes the entire time we played. Shaft to use with your butt. Yeah, I'm a pass. Okay. Oh, okay. I'll take the points, I guess. That's magic. We've got Van Morrison here, hanging out with Joe's Pool School on a Friday night. Who would live in Minnesota and why? Coming up tonight on 60 Minutes. Yeah, Bob, I don't know who would live in Minnesota. I do. But tell you what, the only reason I live here is because everyone I know lives here. Except you fine people. Most of you probably do not live in Minnesota, and I commend you for that. Stay pretty. Yeah, that qualifies. That qualifies for nationwide. Oh yeah, Joe. Yeah, I'm just gonna start off with the jump on this. Okay. Let's give this another whip. Okay. All right. Oh shit. Where were you guys on that one? I didn't even realize the 1 ball was there. Well, we'll put the 2 back then. Oh gosh. And you call yourself a pool player? No, not really. I don't, and I didn't. It's okay. It's okay. Gee, we're getting just delicious shape right here, aren't we? Oh, I guess we're going all the way up. I didn't even think about that, but that makes way more sense. Way more sense. Oh, great. Just what I wanted, kids. A bank in the side. With what shape? I do not know. Oh, boo hiss. All right, all right, all right. Oh. It's just a relaxing evening with Joe Jacobs by the fireside. playing 9-ball without a care in the world. Am I really planning patterns? Not a whole lot. Mostly just doing my first little live stream, talking to myself and shooting balls in the pockets. Oh, I'm missing one. Maybe Ruben has it. Ruben, did you come in here and take the one ball I'm looking for? I'm coming to California to find it. Oh, I found it. The 3-ball. This rack, the goal of this rack will be to remember what the lowest ball on the table is, because last time didn't quite work out. Hey, what's up, Ron? You're probably like, dude, the one ball's not down. Oh gosh. That's why we're doing this, to practice learning where the next ball is. Yeah, see, I've been experimenting with break speed, and that just that doesn't do it for me. That doesn't do it for me at all. Not even trying to. Should probably try to run out, I suppose. Nah, I'm just gonna shoot balls. I don't want to think that much. Be real. If I get 3 balls, whatever. I don't want to think. All right. Oh, cue's down. That was probably Ruben again. Gosh, can't keep track of this guy. He just pops up and goes, I'm going to take the free ball, knock cue down. I'm just kidding, Ruben. I'm just kidding. All right, we're going to try to actually run a rack here. Try to be serious for like 5 seconds. All right. Anybody got $5 if I run this out? I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. Todd, you used to live in Bemidji. That's cool. That is cool. Bemidji, that's even colder than where I'm at. I'm in the Bloomington area by Minnesota's own capital. Not quite. I'm, Bloomington. Just take like 30 miles an hour off the brake. Usually helps a little bit. It's still being a little bit clustery. It's okay. I don't want to think right now, but I gotta redeem myself a little bit. This freaking thing. Don't you do it. It's going to do it. Oh, never a doubt. Never a doubt. That one was just for the fans. Oh, gosh. And losing to a rug. Oh, my gosh. 9-ball, the game of ultimate strategy, thinking, position play, use of English and other languages. Oh, never a doubt. Thanks, Ron. Oh, gosh. Thanks for being on my first stream, guys. I appreciate it. I just like practicing in front of people. I don't know what it is, but it's fun. Oh, that might be messy. Let's see here. Yeah, I suppose. I can try to make this work. All these tight little windows. Not quite that much. There we go. You know what? Magic Rack isn't so magical. I wish it could just disappear when I'm done shooting. That'd be a real magic trick. It's false advertising. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're just gonna pretend that went perfectly. Nobody saw that. Or that. Yeah, this is hot. This is good shape right here. Don't try this at home. Okay. Good talk. Yeah, I mean, that 2-ball, just miss it the first time, but the second time, What's the matter, Julie? You don't want to go home? Answer me. Sorry. I have to entertain myself. Keep myself, keep going. Keep being interested. Yeah, Ruben, you're stealing all the Magic Rack's magic. Oh, man. Those Magic Racks. All right. I'm going to break as hard as I can for absolutely no reason other than it's Friday. Does it do anything cool? No. Just kind of got lost on me. Ooh! This is going to be fun. This is going to be what I want. Okay. That's fine. It's totally fine. Oh, yeah. Okay. Here's where it is. Here's where it really comes down to it. Okay. have we learned, kids? Well, sometimes braking as hard as possible doesn't actually work well. Instead, go for a brake that is effective. All right. Take my own advice on that, I suppose. All right, here comes the 9. Calling it. Well, I'm going to try to do it. Ooh, 7 and 8 wants to give me some problems. Okay, it's fine. That was cute. Stay out, jerk. Called it. Settle your bets. I'm just kidding. Nobody was betting. Nobody was casting their votes, as far as I know. It's just amazing. Okay, like side note, I find it so interesting about pool that like I'm gonna bring it in for this. This is a huddle moment. So I'm gonna look over here. So what's interesting about pool is if you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you can't. And it's amazing how we get in those like pressure moments, and it's like, well, shit, I got in this spot now. What am I gonna do? And oftentimes you just like don't give that shot your absolute full effort because you're more upset that you didn't get where you wanted to get, and then you're just kind of like, and then you miss because you're like, well, I didn't even really try. I've been really learning to like mentally stay in and restart on every shot, whether it's where I wanted to be or not. But like, yeah, I mean, Ron, we both had stuff happen where it's just like, damn it, I was trying to be right here, and now I got to change the whole thing. And it's like, there's nothing worse than like shooting that really important shot while you're frustrated, because then you're thinking more about being frustrated than like making the damn ball. So like, yeah, I mean, it's fun. Let's see. I'm looking and reading some stuff here. Yeah, I hear you on the creating a YouTube channel, Ron. It's I just started it, man. I'm a music guy, and like primarily I do music, but I've been starting to yeah. Primarily I do music, but I've been playing pool a lot in the last 6 years. So like I've gotten really into pool as kind of like a secondary passion, and I've been posting a lot and doing a lot more with pool like this, where it's just like you're not trying to be perfect. Like none of us are perfect. We're just trying to have fun and show what we're doing to other people we don't know, and build communities like this. Like I would never have been doing this even 6 months ago, especially with something music related, because you're so focused on, do people like this? Like, what are they going to do? And this is just like, I don't even care. It's like we're all just hanging out on a Friday night shooting pool. you know? So I don't know. Side note, I don't know what I'm saying. I ramble. You will learn this in time. All right, try again 9 again. Okay. All right. All right. Got it. Like I said, there's something fun about practicing in front of people. Like you want to play your best. And it's also nice too, because I can be really self-critical. I'm sure we all are, but like when I'm practicing by myself, I'm more apt to be like disappointed about something. And if you're on camera, you're like, well, I don't want to do that. So it actually helps your game because you stay more neutral. It's just good. Ooh, that 2-ball just wants to have a fight. All right. Oh, you want to fight, except I can combo that. So screw that. I mean, I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. And it's going to, I need it to have top left. So I'm going to use low right. I'm going to see if I can just pop it in. Oh, yeah. Shape was important to have after that, I suppose. Okay. This could have landed a little bit more sweetly, I suppose. I don't think that actually can go. But I could kick the 2 and kick into the 8-ball. That would be worth $5. All right, we're going to go for it. No dice. No dice, kids. All right. That one was for the boys back home. Okay, it wasn't. But you know how it goes. Really glad that Chuck found my channel those fine weeks ago and invited me to this. It's been really fun. I'm going to read things. Right? It is fun to get into. Yeah. Thanks, Rod. Yeah, it's fun. It's all tough too, because like you know, when you're playing the match on the live stream, like you feel like you should be all like, ugh. At least I kind of do. I get really focused though when I'm competing. I don't really talk much, but it's fun. Oh, it sailed away, sailed away. Okay. I knew that 5 is going to be interesting, but I can come from this side. 2, 3. All right. Well, I'm just going to try to get to here. Okay. So if I basically get to that diamond, I should be okay. That angle is somewhere in this range. It's always helpful to have a target on the side rail. I've learned that. A lot of people, when they play into an open space, their speed control just changes dramatically because they're worried about getting hooked somewhere. I know I've done that a million times. Oh, it also goes here. Okay. In that case, oh, and it goes in the side. Okay, we might be in business here. We might be able to pull this off. All right, so I'm going to play. The only danger for playing this side is you can go long, and then you're going to have a weird cut trying to get back. So it's my only option. So I'm trying to hit like right here then at like not much speed. See if I got it. Yep, for sure fucking got it. Excuse me. Yes. Okay. And we'll go to the side rail, come out to here again. Stop, please. Thank you. And we will drift to the end for this angle. A little bit of low right with a soft kind of brush, such as that. And then we will roll forward. I'm actually going to throw this ball. I'm going to aim it like right here with top left so I can roll into like right here-ish. It's the goal, at least. It might go a little bit wider than that, but that's okay. And then we're just going to follow forward. That was cute. Just amazing. Like, that's another thing that I found actually that Dante said last night. I think it was last night when he played Chuck, I believe. And he said at the end that when he sees that the table is clustered in any way, that it's stressful, and he kind of just, I don't think he said this, but what I have done is like, you know, if I see a really like clustered table, I'll just kind of go, well, I probably won't run out and I probably won't get this out. So I'm just going to shoot a few and see how it goes. And it's amazing how if you actually like take a step back and go, oh, you know what? This doesn't look ideal. It doesn't look super wide open and like it's not going to be like easy. But like with that 5, it's like I just initially looked at it and said, oh, that's a really tight position and whatever. But then once I got to the 4 ball, I was like, oh, actually, it goes here, here, and here. And then all of a sudden, my stress level went down because I had a plan for it. And like Ron, when we played, the first, I think 4 games, I would say, I wasn't fully planning to the 9 ball. And that's why a lot of those shots I ended up getting hooked on or scratching or whatever. And what I really have been learning through my practicing is that the more of a plan I have, the less anxious and overwhelmed I feel looking at any table. And then that dramatically increases my percentage of getting out because I'm going to be playing more calmly and more collected. Because if you know you're going to get to here, here, and here, it's not as stressful as, all right, I'm on this ball. How do I get over here? Well, I don't know, but I'm going to try to get somewhere in there. It's like every time I do that, I get screwed over somehow. This commercial break brought to you by Joe's Weird Humor. Didn't know Joe was kind of a weirdo? Well, now you kind of do. That might land cute. Okay, other than the 7 ball, which is okay, because if I get to right here on the 6, I can roll in, bump the 9 out, draw the 7 off, and then take the 9 there. See, I would normally be stressed about this, but I figured 1, 3, 4, 5 to here, to right here, 6, 7, 9. So now I don't feel as stressed about it because I made a plan. And it's funny because I'm normally not a pattern player. I'm normally an 8-ball, just like shoot balls in type of guy. Oh, okay, so I landed super straight. Normally that would stress me out as well. But it's not going to. I'm just looking at this pocket line and somewhere in here, I'm like, okay, well, it's all right, because if I land up here a ways, I can just softly make it. I'll still have my shape. So I'm not going to worry about getting exact. I'm just going to get in that range. That's another thing I've struggled with in the past, is trying to be too cute with everything. Trying to get too close. Okay, now I know I'm going to be running into the 6 ball, but what do I want to do with that? Well, I am going to okay, so I'm going to play for the 6 right here. I'm going to try to have it come off the end rail and come up. And if it doesn't, I'll probably have it somewhere else, but that's kind of what I'm going for. Okay, that works out too. Now, question about the 7 ball. At this stage, I am going to have to bank it. And I think that the bank angle of this would be the dead bank. So I'm going to roll forward to right about there. And now I should be able to just roll that in. Shape on the 9. Or double kissed. All right, well, regardless, having a plan got me a 7 there. It felt pretty good. I just didn't quite get the exact layout on the 7 I needed. Could have banked it a little firmer, but I was more thinking about holding it for the 9 ball, obviously. So. Yeah, man, this tournament format's really fun. It's very different, but it's fun for sure. Okay, does go up there. So I will I have to be behind this ball. If I can get behind this ball, it'll be in. So I've just got to get the right angle in the 2. I think if I'm here, I can draw off this way. So that's what I'm going to try to do, is get over there, setting up the proper angle on the 1 ball. Or if I get hooked, that's option 2. Okay. No. Yes. No. I don't know. You know, that might. Man, it's close. Let's just see if it's even. Oh, here's the thing. I think I can do it. You just got to know that you're going to do it and just commit to that. And don't even look at the 4-ball. Oh, see? Don't take my advice. 4-ball's like, don't look at me, huh? Well, let me tell you what's about to happen. The thing was just not having it tonight. Sorry, 4-ball. Forgive my intrusion. It's like, yeah. You should be sorry. All right, side break. Side break. Let's say messy. Everybody's messy. Okay. Whatever. I don't care. Does it look like I care? Ooh. This is doable, though. This is definitely doable. Magical Rex. Do 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 do. Oh, this is kind of a weird little. Okay. This, my friends, is one of those shots that I didn't want, but I'm going to put everything I've got into it. Oh, drop, dude. Look at that. Ouch. That was painful. Not going to lie. That was just abusive. Oh, okay. I guess that's that. So is anyone else practicing tonight or what? You need a little more speed. Okay. You're talking about the side brake or the head-on brake? The head-on brake I can go quite a bit harder. But when I'm braking from the side, I don't usually brake that hard. Because I'm not usually like a side braker. Sometimes this Magic Rack is just not perfect. Side brake. All right. One brake. All right, guys. I'll give the side brake a little more power. There's a little bit of a divot here, so it might jump off the table slightly, but. Yeah. Okay. Just gonna get it to the side pocket. If I get to the side pocket, I'll be out. Oh, okay. That's fine. That's fine. Is that the brake speed I was supposed to go? Scales that back a little. Hit the cue ball either dead center or half a tip above. Okay. Dial back a little bit. Okay. Because that's the thing is like I kind of recently have learned how to brake a lot harder, and it's tough to know the exact speed of that. But I will try that, Ron. Dial that back a little bit. Okay. Wait, how much above center did you say? Half a tip above. Okay, just barely. Okay. Yeah, I'm not a great like cue ball squatter. All right, we'll try this one more time. I do not like to give up, so if I am trying to get it figured out, I will keep trying it. I feel like I actually have to aim a little bit to the left of that spot. Except the 6 ball, I'm not a fan of that. Oh, actually, no, that's not bad at all. I took ball in hand, that's not bad at all. Was that the right speed? He hit to the right of the head ball. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, so I must have to aim it just slightly to the left of that. Oh, that's not going to have nearly enough travel. Okay. Just call the 9 up there because there's literally nothing else I can do from here. Or back the other corner too, whatever. All right, so we try a little bit left of that spot. How long did you work on that break, Ron, until you had that consistent? Yeah, I don't think that's my style of braking. I don't think I can comfortably do that. Wish every rack was like that. It can be. Yeah. I have found that for me, using a little bit of low left actually helps kind of like spin the rack apart. So I've never been somebody who can consistently squat the cue ball like that. A couple months, about an hour a day. A little too far that. Okay, so here's the thing. I'll be real with you. When I'm breaking from the side, I actually can't pinpoint where a square hit is from that angle. So I actually just I don't have the reference point. And that's kind of always been that way. I look at it, I'm like, yeah, it looks pretty full. And then I just shoot it and it's like never quite right. But I've put more time into breaking than I care to admit. But that's definitely one thing that I don't even know. Like, center is like, I guess aiming through this crack, I think is what center actually is my guess. Must be, because I barely hit that and it looks like that. Yeah, it's probably right. See, for me, I have to have a reference point of what straight on actually is. For sure. No, you can't. You have to come all the way around that thing. Okay. Watch me get hooked by the 6 anyway. It's hot. It must be what it is. It's aiming that through that crack. Because that barely, I barely had to hit that thing and it just exploded. That was cool. That's one thing I do know is if you're hitting it square, the rack responds very, very differently than if you hit it anything other than square. That's what I know. You tell me, Ron, was that the right spot? Pick a point on the back rail. It's kind of the idea. Don't need as much power. Thanks for the nice out. Yeah, the jump shot. I definitely actually watched one of Chris's videos maybe a year or two ago because he's shorter like I am, and the big guys that can just jump like this, no problem. I can't really do that. So one thing that Chris has in one of his videos is if you're jumping that you can actually turn your body away from the shot to jack up more comfortably as opposed to facing it and trying to do that. Because your elbow's here and then you can get way up here if your body's just turned this way. And the key with jumping is just follow through. So if you're afraid to follow through, your jumps are going to always struggle. I know mine did. There you go, Ron. That's probably what you're talking about, right? That basically stopped. Or the crack too, yeah. Yeah. Boom. I want to say that in the New York accent. Boom. They go boom. Yeah, I certainly wouldn't mind playing on a table that looks like this more often. Nope. Twist it a little bit. That's very interesting, though. Yeah, you don't have to hit that very hard for the cue ball to park, and but that's probably the best point right there. Is just the having a consistent spot to aim piece. Because for me, it hasn't been like mechanics. It's just been like the exact point of aim. Because it just, like you said, it's like, man, if you're even just like a hair off, it completely changes how that thing breaks. You don't have to be off for very much. And like that one, I clearly didn't hit the same spot. But, you know, layout's workable. I just don't really want it. Don't really like it. But I'll do it anyway. That's going to be hooked completely. Yay. Another jump. Yeah, land on the ball. All right, here it is. Maybe. No, definitely. Oh, okay. That went from bad to, well, we might as well just start over. At least I had one good side break. It was there for a second. It was pretty cool though when you actually hit it just right. It just goes. Still playing. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like also like if you slow it down a little bit on that. Just need to break it harder, but that thing just stopped. But it definitely helped to play that a little bit, like the setup just being a little bit slower. For certain breaks, it doesn't really matter how long it takes you to set up and go for it, but side break like that, I feel like you want to be so accurate that taking a little bit of extra time is definitely worth it. All right. Suppose this is runnable. I'm going to run into the 6 ball if I'm really cute. Or not. The 5-2, that works. That works. These are fun. Jeez. That's just a slap in the face. My table's good at just being like, Yeah, so that one, I think the reason it hopped was because it was coming out of, like I said, I got that divot on the side of my, where I've been breaking from over there, because I used to break like this, but not very well. And so the cue ball actually hops out of that divot, which is, I think, why it did that. But I also probably didn't hit it right, because that's my thing. I'll break it from just a little bit different spot. But But again, see there, it's like I broke from a slightly different spot, which means the crack isn't square anymore. Ugh! I have, yeah. Which is why I normally break not like that. Because to me, it's like I can't rely on that in a tournament setting to be like, because that's honestly why I prefer to break harder from near the middle, because in the last 2 days I've had 2 or 3 times where I've made 5 on the break from in here, and I was like, okay. Not including the cue ball. But to me, this just is way like, it's more of like a tap situation, which is what I'm mostly looking for. I don't want a bunch of tight windows to deal with. Like I don't have to do anything fancy. Okay, that one was, yeah, okay. Well, yeah, I mean, I think for me, I've got to stick with my head-on brakes. Maybe the next tournament I'll work on the other one, but this is just kind of more my style. Plus, I just like to, put some power into my brake just because it helps me feel confident going into a game. Yeah, see, I'd rather play that all day long. All day long. No, that was a little bit wide. But yeah, I mean, for me, that just feels more, just more me. Never been a great side breaker. What do we got here? Too slow and they don't scatter, too hard and they cluster. Yeah. Isn't that the truth? Yeah, it's such a finicky shot. And like for me, what's been fun is playing in this tournament has really highlighted like how important having a consistent break is, because you're not playing safeties. Like it's just that you're just trying to get as many points as you can. It's not like normal pool. So it's like, oh, you really have to make sure this shot works well. Otherwise, if you get clusters every freaking time, you're just not going to have a shot. Stay out of there. Okay. Oh, all right. Well, I guess I'm going to have to deal with you early. I have to hit it hard enough that I have a shot afterward. Or that. Okay. All right. Okay. Good talk. Shoot. Okay. Everybody goes in 3 shots. Oh, man. That one's for our sponsors, Huggies. Huggies, the official sponsor of Bang Time Pool. Because every once in a while, we all need a little, yeah. I can't believe it's not butter. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta blast them. Yeah. Just made this get real fun, didn't I? Not really sure what my plan was with this ball, but we're gonna find out. Double bank? Sure. Or single, whatever it's really feeling. I'm gonna leave it up to the 4 ball. Whatever it wants to do, it can just go ahead and do that. Or neither. You know, you do you. Yeah, at this point in the night, I'm definitely just shooting balls, which is fun sometimes. I haven't played 8-ball in like a week and a half, and that's like for the last 6 years been pretty much the only game I've played. It's been nice to have a different game to play. Totally like different strategy and playing the ghost and whatever. It's different. All right, I'm gonna take this rack seriously. I'm actually gonna put everything I got into it, or try. All right. Have you tried the break I mentioned, Todd? You can look up here. I have to use a little draw to squat the cue ball in the center. Aim to hit full on. You mean just basically breaking from the side with a little below center? Is that what you mean? All right. Serious time. All right. I got a plan. Oh, hell no. Well, interesting. Interesting. All right. I'm going to be done here soon. I'm getting tired. I'm getting tired of shooting. Shooting them pool balls. All right, Todd, I'm gonna look and see. You better have your instructional manual on display. 1 diamond out from the side. Okay. All right. You're talking about here. Yes? Is that what you're talking about? All right. All right. We will see. It's the best I could do from there. It's kind of an icky 3 ball. Isn't it funny how many different ways you can break a freaking rack? Just crazy. And I have my what I like to call my standard break, which I break from my same normal spot. I just break it with just my arm. I don't use any full body anything. That's that one. Oh, that's gonna suck. Yep, definitely sucks. Well, I'm gonna try to throw it. That one worked out nicely, as the Grinch would say. That worked out nicely. But what would I wear? It's their jubilation. Match I'm feeling. Well, I think I'm hitting it squarely from there, Ron. Shall we try again? I suppose. I did want to hit the 6, but enough to be able to see the 4. All right, that's fine. That's cool. We're good. Will it scratch? Oh, I thought it was going to. It didn't. Didn't. Well, stand here. Will it focus me in? Yeah. There we go. Yeah. So thanks guys for hanging out with me. I am looking forward to Tuesday. Next match. So I've been doing my practicing and been scoring pretty well. So yeah, just gonna keep doing my thing, y'all, as we all are. So who's got the next match? Are you put? Oh, I'm out of focus now. Oh, whatever. Just get the pool table in focus, and then I'll be in focus. That's how this works, I think. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I appreciate that, Ron. I will. You're playing tomorrow night at 8? I'm definitely gonna watch. I'm definitely gonna watch all 3 tomorrow. That's gonna be super fun. And it's just back to back to back. Are you the first, second, or third match tomorrow? First one. Nice. Are you playing Eric? Yeah, it'll be fun. Yeah. You guys will both shoot well. And yeah, I'm sure you're gonna dial in that break like a wild, just zoom, go in and just tweak it. And obviously, like, you can do it. And I think, I mean, I don't like know you super well, but I would say, like, trust and believe that you will get the result that you want. It's tough. It's tough if you're in a night um where it hasn't been going exactly the way you want it to. But like, I've seen some of your previous matches, and like, that's something that I've done a lot of, is like tweaking things and being like, oh, well, this works, that doesn't work, whatever. But like, it's tough too, because I have a buddy who he breaks really consistently from the side like you do. And I told him, and I said, I was like, if you get bored of your break because it's working so well, don't change anything. Because like me, I know for myself, like I always want to feel like I have to like work for a good break. I don't know why that is, but that's just how it's always been. And so, like, if a break works well, you're like, well, but I'm supposed to be working on something about it. Like, it could be better. It always could be better. And like, I don't know. So I would just encourage you to trust your instinct, man. And like, whatever worked for you before, just do that. Like, there's no need to change anything if it was working great for you. But like, yeah, I mean, and honestly, like, it's especially in 9 ball, like, your break is so huge. It's so important, and like, you've got it. So just let it do its thing. If you're trying to change something about it or tweak something about it that it's like, I don't need to be changed. All right, cool. So, but I know you play great, and yeah, I look forward to watching you hopefully get that victory and move to the next round and keep plugging through that bracket, man. It's tournaments are so weird, like, either way. Yep, exactly. Go back to where you were, and that break cold, I'm sure. You beast. Yep, I totally know that feeling, and I think that's exactly what Eric did, because I was helping him out with some things, and he was like, "Yeah, man, I just, I kind of built up this thing, and I wanted to, I wanted the people that were watching me to enjoy themselves, and I kind of wanted to play my game and like, just put on a good show, basically." And he was like, "And I didn't," and we talked about it, and I said, I think you just weren't focused on playing your best. I think, as we talked about, I said, I think you were more focused on, does my table look good? Is my lighting good? Are the people here that I invited? Like, you were more focused on that than just playing your best game. And he's like, you know what? I think that's exactly what I was doing. And I said, so in that case, you succeeded. Like, what you were focused on succeeded extremely well, and your game didn't quite go the way you wanted to. And I said, when you're practicing, like, because I kind of told him like my mentality when I'm competing, and for whatever reason, like uh, I end up doing better in tournaments than I do in leagues sometimes, and I don't know exactly why that is, but when I go into a tournament match, I never I never not never, but like I really try to just like keep that like fight that like you're talking about, like letting the beast out. Like I kind of try to keep that as close to the foreground as I can, and just you know not show like any sort of weakness if I can help it. Like if I'm frustrated about something, I do need to say something about it. Otherwise, I will like dwell on it and sit on it. But like those first four racks in our match, like there are definitely times before where I might have beaten myself up and been like, wow, I'm just going to get threes and fours and twos and whatever. And I said, no, like, damn it. At some point, I'm going to run out of rack. And when I can do that, like, that's me telling myself, like, you're still in, just keep grinding it. Like, you're going to have good racks and bad racks, but like, you know, winning it or whatever, it's like, it's always like, can you just try your hardest till the end, regardless of what happens? And if you win or lose and know that you never like actually took yourself out of it, like that's huge. And I know since you won the last tournament that you've got that in you, of course. And yeah, I mean, I look forward to kind of seeing you, you know, capitalize on what you didn't have that you wanted to have in the last match. And like everybody has those experiences where it's just like, well, okay, well that's whatever. Like it is what it is. That's why it's nice too that it's a double elim tournament. You got that opportunity to freaking to plow through that side of the bracket, and like, there are already what, two people, I think, two or three that are out. Can't remember, but I think we're down to like 12 or 13 or something like that. So talk positive to yourself regardless of the situation. Yes, that is freaking money. And that is something I have been horrible at. I mean, let me rephrase. That is something that I had room for improvement on in the past. The negative self-talk is it's just a killer. You're like, oh, you idiot. How did you miss that? You're just screwed. You're screwed. If your conscious mind is yapping while you're trying to shoot, you aren't going to do it. Pool is not a conscious mind game, But yeah, I mean, one thing that I found too is just like, if I look back on it, like my best pool is always played like when I'm calm. Let me look at a chair. One sec. Since we're just having a fireside chat, I don't know if you guys are gonna hang out for 5 minutes or not, but I'll sit down. But yeah, like, it's just so interesting because like a lot of these tournaments or amateur events that we're in, it's just like the person who actually gives up first is the one who doesn't win. Like it just ends up being like oh, well, I guess this will be, kind of how it is or whatever. And it's like, it's so tough. It's so tough. Right. But that positive self-talk is huge. Like, if you can sit there and go like, oh, okay, I got a 2 in that rack and I thought I was going to get out. It's like, all right, like when we were playing Ron, I was like, oh, okay, like this isn't my best night. Like I'm recognizing that early. I'm not going to set any records. I'm not going to be, there's nothing special about it. I'm just going to try to go through. But like my attitude was, you know, every single time that I got a chance to break again, I was just like, all right, this is going to be the rack that I'm going to run out. And if I didn't, I still thought that way for the next one. And that's, for me, that's actually a huge sign of progress, because for most of my pool career, like I haven't done that. I've just kind of been like, oh, well, if it's not going to be perfect, or if I'm not going to have the best night ever, then there's no point in like playing the best I can. So that's been a nice shift that I've seen in myself. So I'm really excited about that, like moving forward, to just have, some extra, humility and realistic, like expectations. Like, as the players, it's like, of course we want to shoot our best. We want to set records. We want to be like thought of as doing really well. I know I do, but I think it's really important to be like, but what matters tonight is just scoring more points than the other guy. That's it. You know, everybody wants to have the glory, but at the end of the day, it's like it's points. You know, you can beat someone by 1 point and have the worst shooting of your life, but if you won, you won. It's and neither of us shot our best game that night. We both know that. But like I said, I mean, it's just tough too when it's kind of like built up as like, this is going to be it's going to be spectacular and great and whatever. I'm kind of like, whoa, I better play perfectly then, because that's the thing. Yeah, you're playing to the table, not the other person. Yeah, that's totally true. Yeah, and for myself, there have definitely been times like in league or something where it's like, oh, I'm playing this person and this happened last time, or oh, I'm playing this person and I saw how they played against this person. The buildup is definitely in your mind. Oh, for sure. Yeah. And what you're building up with in your mind, it's like you're using that same mind to play the game. Like however you do it. It's just like, man, it's a tricky game, because it's, if we all had like a professional's ability to stay just completely focused 100% of the time, like we'd all shoot amazing like all the time. If another person is there, they're just there to rearrange the balls. Yeah, that's I couldn't agree more. That's super wise. I love that. Yeah, because you watch people like, Shane or Corey Deuel or anybody that's like at that level, and man, they can be down freaking 9-0 in a race to 10, and they still think they can win. I mean, that's a whole different, like, I can't even picture being able to think like that, for sure. Like, if you're just not there that night, like, yeah, those guys are just like, yeah, I can be down 9-0, but they know in their minds, if they get that window from the other person, they're gonna take it. And especially if it's a winner break format, they can do some serious damage. And then that person's like, I only need one game, and then all of a sudden it's 9-1, then it's 9-4, then it's 9-7, because they just keep, the person who's winning is just playing safes and getting out and just like controlling the table. That's a huge thing about playing with people, like when you're actually able to play in person, is like staying in control of the table is so huge. Like I play safeties when I need to in 8 ball, and so many people are afraid to play safes because they never practice them. And so they're like, oh, I'll underhit it or I'll overhit it and leave you a shot. So they're more likely to go for a really low percentage shot and let you back the table. And if that happens sometimes, I'm like, oh, okay. Like, you went for the low percentage shot. Well, I'm just going to play a safety on you, get ball in hand, and then run out. And it's like, that's kind of if you're going to play a safety, you got to commit to that shot just like you commit to anything else. I mean, a lot of people just go, I don't know how to play a safety, or I don't like to do that. So they just kind of like tap it and hope for the best. And it's like, oh, okay. Or I had a tournament match. It was a team tournament, 8 ball, and the guy tried to play a safety in like the final game. I'll show you what this looked like. So he's trying to play a safety. Oh, here we go. Ooh, there we go. Hold on. Okay. So he's trying to play a safe on me, and he's got like this ball is here, and I was on the 8, and it was something like, what was it? I think I had barely. It was some ridiculous thing. Like I could only go this way. Yeah, it was like this, maybe something like this. Yeah, and he had ball in hand. Okay, let's say there was something over here too. I don't remember the exact layout, but I had to go this way. So he's over there, and he takes a timeout, and he talks to his teammate, and they decide to, I can't remember exactly that, but he basically decided to like graze this ball and try to leave me like right here and leave this ball like right in the way, so that I had no way to get to the ball. And because he took so long to decide what he wanted to do, and then also had his teammate help him, what he ended up doing was he hits this ball, he hits it so softly that it stops right there. Doesn't touch the rail. I mean, it's literally like just off the rail. So I get ball in hand, and I freaking put the ball like this. I mean, it was like just enough space not to foul. I mean, it was like some ridiculously like that or something. I can't remember the exact thing. You probably can't see this. Let me move the camera. There we go. That's probably a little more, makes a little more sense. There we go. Yeah. So he leaves me, or he fouls, and like my only shot is this, and he's standing over there, and I just remember I'm like, I'm gonna punish that. Like you can't do that in this setting. Like no. So I put the cue ball there, and I'm jacked up over it, and I just tap the 8 ball, and it just trickles and rolls dead center, and I won the match. And I look over at him, like right as the 8 ball drops, he just goes. I'm just like, long story long, I'm like, dude, if you're gonna play a touch safety at a hill game, like you better put everything you've got into that shot, because safeties are like, if you don't do it right, man, you're gonna pay. and honestly, like I tried even harder on that ball because I knew that he should have hooked me. Like there was almost no reason that he should have underhit that safety. Because like, I mean, he didn't have to hit it perfectly. He just had to make sure that I couldn't see the 8 ball. And he's like, and I'm like, you fouled on that? Like it had to move like a half inch to get to the rail. And he hit it so soft, it just didn't quite. I'm like, oh gosh. So that's the long story long of safeties. Like, you're gonna play that safe, man. Play it like it's the freaking 9 ball, and you got to make it. Like, whoo, yeah. I'm sure everybody's got stories like that are just, either on the winning side or the losing side, where we've just been like either really smart and won or really stupid and lost. And it's just like, what was I thinking? Like, or like, the awesome moments where you follow a ball into a pocket getting shaped somewhere, and it's like, I literally had this entire rail that I could have landed and had a shot. And instead, I put it straight in line with the side pocket and followed it in. Oh, I've done that. It's just like, man, that's why we're not on TV. That's all you can do. It's just crazy. First rack of the first tourney match. Oh, really? Oh, man. Yeah. Yep. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've all done that stuff. And it's just crazy. Like, when it happens the first time, you're like, how in the hell did I do that? Very first shot. Wow. Yeah, that sets a tone. That's a little bit of a hole you've got to dig out of. You're like, well, shit. This is gonna be that kind of thing. But the tricky thing, as Todd has said, is like, if you're in a situation where something stupid happens like that, you just got to shrug it off and be like, okay. Like if you can just reset on your next shot and literally like block that shot out of your mind completely. Or like I've had matches where like my opponent will get lucky and like get out when they shouldn't have, and I'll be like upset about that one out for the rest of the match and lose because of it. And it's like, you can't do that. You can't. I mean, you can if you want to lose, but that's not a winning mentality. A winning mentality is a short memory, keeping your emotions in check, looking at every table as an opportunity to defeat a challenge, find the humor in it. Exactly. Yep. And even like saying something self-deprecating just to let it out of yourself is fun too. Cause like, you know, like when we were playing, I'm like, can I just get a shot on the two ball? It's like that's what I was doing. Yeah. The humor is huge. Like you gotta be able to laugh at yourself. You know, we're all playing the game to have fun. And like if you're at a point where you're just like not having fun, like I was, it's like you need to step back for a while because, you know, it'd be different if you were literally making your living playing pool. Like you better be on your game every single day. But since most of us are not doing that, it's like, well, it's supposed to be fun primarily, and like, you know, take it with a grain of salt. Like you're not always gonna have a perfect break. You're not always going to have a perfect out. You're not always going to get a 9 when you should have. You might get a 2. You know, like it's just one game. You know, it's like I have now that I've been kind of dialing in my own break a little bit more and like forcing myself to have a plan. I'm kind of setting my own like markers. Yeah, we are human. There is that. But I'm setting my own markers because I'm like keeping track of my totals, which I haven't done before other matches. But I feel like at this point in the tournament, I really need to be practicing in the game situation a little more, just so I'm used to, you know, what my average scores are and just kind of getting a feel for things. Because I had only kept score the 2 times that I did that, so I've only actually played 2 matches with that score thing. So I thought, well, why don't I just kind of keep track and find out a range where I'm getting in consistently instead of being like, well, was this a good night or a bad night? Or like, what should I expect from myself? Like, so, yeah, the last 2 days, I shot a 66 and a 62, which were pretty good. I'm happy with those. I've had like a 54, 57. So I've been getting to kind of where I think I should be. But it really just comes down to those like having a plan. Like you got to know how you're going to get out. Otherwise, you're just making 2 or 3 balls and then getting hooked somewhere and starting over. And it's just like, man, that just gets old. Like that was tough when that was happening for those couple of racks. It's just like, shit, can we just not? So yeah, I don't know. It's been fun though. I'm enjoying the practicing of like trying to create the like create like the tournament atmosphere, because then when you actually play, it's just another practice session exactly like you've been doing, as opposed to like, well, normally I'm just like shooting balls around and like I play some 9-ball or whatever, but I'm not like keeping track and like making sure that I'm maintaining focus and stuff, because it's just a different deal. And like in the tournament, you know, you only get one chance at that rack. You don't get to start over and have a mulligan, whatever. It's like that's just that rack. And like, you know, like especially like you know, I'm gonna be doing this, and I know you are, Ron, and like make sure that regardless of how nice that break is, like just don't start shooting until you know exactly what position you want on every ball. Because the more specific you are with that picture, the more likely you're going to get it, you know? And like, yeah, I mean, watching through, it's like you weren't off by much. Like some of those shots are just like just a little, and it's like, oh, great. Like your final freaking rack, I can't remember, two ball to the three. Yeah, I think it was the two to the three. I think you were trying to like come around like two or three rails, I think, for the three ball. And I think it like bumped into the six or something, and then just like caromed off to that and like just hid just behind the eight ball. It's like, ooh, that's tough. And then you're like, great, I got to come up with this like really, really good. Yeah, three rails. Yeah. Because it was side rail, end rail, side rail, I think is what you were trying to do. But yeah, it's like, and like, oh yeah, hit the 9 and coast it over behind the 8. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. And it's just like, damn. Like, and not only that too, but like, looking at the rack, but then also like looking at your windows. Like that's something that somebody taught me a while ago that I thought was like super good. Yeah. Have a good night, Todd. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next time, man. Have a good evening. Thanks for all your wisdom and advice. Very appreciated. Yeah, and like the windows, like if you got three balls left, it's like you don't need to have perfect shape. You just need to make sure you're within that wedge of the angle that will work. And it's like, especially like, because we want to be like, oh yeah, like if you've got, refocus here. Good enough. Okay, so like, and you already know this. I'm not explaining anything you don't know. I'm just reiterating. Like if your window's like this, and you're trying to get from, here to like here, it's like you can get to anywhere in this range and have that shot. Ooh, I need to relevel my slate. You can do that. And like, let's say you're coming from, this isn't the right ball, but like, let's say you're coming from like over here to get to that window. Like, yeah, you want to be exactly right here, but you also have this entire wedge. So I would just be playing like, one of the things that I do is like, I'll pick a spot on the last rail that I'm trying to hit so that I know that if I hit that last spot, it'll naturally go into my position range. So like I have my pocket line that goes to here. So I know that if I hit anywhere from here to here on this rail, that I should get that shape. So then I'm just trying to hit that spot on the rail instead of trying to get this exact spot. I'm just using this rail target. And then I'm, using top right and just trying to hit my rail, which I overran a little bit. But like I'll use that sometimes if like I am feeling like a little extra pressure at that moment to like play perfectly or whatever. Just like using the rails to get that precision. Like it's so huge. Having rail targets is like, it's night and day. Like, especially, I can't help but explain things. So if you know this, I'm sorry. But like for this type of shot, let's say, you've got this, right? Let's just say for shits and giggles, you have, let's make it more logical. You're playing 8 ball and you're here, right? And you're trying to get to the 8. So the first thing you do is you look from the 8 ball and you're like, all right, like this is my end line right here. This is my end line. And so then I'm going from this, I'm taking the exact angle coming out here and then twisting that over here. So I already know from here, if I'm going to hit up right here, I should get there. And then if you're trying to get there and all right, well, as long as I get hitting right there-ish, with top left, I should get there, and you can picture that zigzag more exactly. And like your brain just works really well if you give it a lot of targets. So like one thing you can practice if you want to work on rail targets is you grab, again, if you know this, I'm sorry, grab 2 pieces of chalk, have your target, and then figure out your like this. So now you're actually aiming for this piece of chalk to hit this piece of chalk. You're giving your mind those 2 targets. See? So if you figure, and you can do that for anything. So like if you're down here and you're like, all right, I want to hit like here, right? And you're on your last ball to get there. It's the same idea. Might just be a little bit down from here, like that. And again, it's speed. Speed's huge. But it's amazing how if you just set up those 2 pieces of chalk and pick your last angle of reflection that you want to come off at and like dial that in, it's just amazing how much more how much more you can trust it too, because that can be the tricky part as well, like in that like end game scenario where you're like, I need to get to this window, like I can't get hooked behind this last ball or whatever. It's like, yeah, if you've got a spot on the rail that's kind of helping you like navigate it, it just takes a lot of the anxiety out of the shot. Because that's one of the things that I've learned from a lot of Tor Lowry's material is like for sure helps build your confidence in your shot making. Yeah. And like you don't want to play into open areas if you can avoid it. Like even shots where like this is the last thing I'll show, I promise. But even something where like you have, let's say it's like this, right? Let's give it even a little bit of, because we've all seen this happen where like somebody will go, let's make it a little bit, where they're trying to roll to right here, right? But they don't know the exact speed, so they'll hit it soft, but what do? They end up right here. And they try to bank it, and they miss the bank and leave it as a straight-in shot for their opponent and lose. That happens a lot. So as Tor says, like the right way to handle this situation is not to try to drift to right here, but to actually play it to come off of the end rail and up here. Because now you're at least to the end rail, and even if you come up short, you're still at your position range. But to play that so that you're coming off of that end rail like that, instead of just trying to softly roll to this exact same spot. That's another huge thing. That happened a couple of times, like in our match, where it's just like, you're trying to get that exact shape and you just underhit it. Because you're trying to consciously tell yourself, like, I only want to go to this exact spot. And like, it's so easy to underdo it or overdo it, just depending on what instruction you give. And like, the game is so deep. I love it. It's so it's such a head game, because you know how to do all the shots. It's just a matter of like, in those game scenarios, like how often are you getting to what you want to get to? And like, another huge thing that I've learned how to do over time that my buddies that play with me up here have pointed out is like, Like if you're like they'll watch me play and they'll go, you know, if you get out of line on something, like you get back into line. And that's another huge skill that I think is important to develop is like if you don't get to where you are, do you know every single shot to get back to where you need to go? If you have the ability to, like you can still make that ball and like move it somewhere, like can you actually get that spot back? Because I do that all the time, like recovering and changing where I was gonna go. Muscling the cue ball around the table, a tendency of overhitting. Sure. Um, Now, when you say overhitting, are you referring to like getting past your position zone, or are you talking like putting more spin on than you think you have, or like what exactly like what scenario do you normally find that like overhitting actually screws you over? Like what is the most common way that you get somewhere you don't want to go? Like if you're trying to do like a two rail with top right, or uh, drawing two rails, or like too much speed on the shot. Sure. Oh, another thing that I like to do. I said this was the last thing, but damn it, I can't stop myself. I am called Joe's Pool School, so whatever. Like for topspin, cut one of these out. I probably put this in a video if you've seen it, but it works so freaking well. Like you put in a straight up shot, and you're trying to follow to an exact distance, and you can put this circle anywhere. But like having that target and practicing, okay, how much topspin do I need to put it in the circle? And you just get that ingrained. Like, you know, is it a shot that like if you're doing like this is a nice shot to practice for like, you know, stroke versus like punching the shot, is if you have this layout and you're trying to get from this ball to this ball, this shot right here is a good one to practice. Because again, if you overhit it, you'll scratch, and I underhit that, but like that's a great one to work on. And like it's interesting too because like if you've got, let me ask you a question, Ron. Is your overhitting? Yeah, like if you're overhitting something, do you find that it's usually because the cue ball has to travel a long ways to your next ball? I'm just curious. Or is it in other situations? Like which situation are you most likely to overhit a ball? Okay. Yeah, because that's probably the most common is and I think I know why. So when you have a long distance to travel, your brain tells you, oh, it needs to go a long way, so that equals harder. And you know that that's not true, but it's like your body doesn't know that yet. So like if you have to, like for example, this is one that I see happen a lot. Like if you've got this little rack drives me nuts. If you've got something like this, right? This happens. So like, let's say, yeah. So you're trying to do top left to over here, right? So two things. Number one, yes, the cue ball has to travel here, 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 here. So that's a long distance. But what I find that's interesting is if you just think smooth, just put the one word smooth in your head when you shoot the ball, your stroke changes a lot. Because if you don't think that, what you're going to do is you're going to punch the ball. And if you punch the ball, the spin doesn't have enough chance to take off. So it just kind of goes on the tangent line and then just loses a lot of its steam. But if you think smooth, your stroke is more fluid. And like I feel like I barely hit that. But the smoothness of it is what got it there. But yeah, if you're overhitting stuff, just literally set the shot up that I just did, cutting back 1, 2, 3 to this shot, and practice just thinking smooth and just shoot it smoothly. Because if you can get that shot to go 3 rails and stop in this range consistently, I guarantee you will stop overhitting balls, because you're going to learn that you can actually trust the spin of the ball to take it all the way. Because it's so easy to overhit shit. And like, you know, the other thing too is like that spin picks up on that second rail so much. The first rail doesn't do much. The second rail, when it gets that second rail, it really just takes off. And like but yeah, I would, if you're overhitting stuff frequently, the drills that I would suggest is that one, and then just practice this. Like normally we all like to just hit balls and like do some drills here and there, but like, you know, if you've got like this one too, you know, and you're rolling off of this rail to this shape. If you normally hit this shot and you land here all the time, this is a perfect drill for that, because you're going to learn not only the chalk thing, but so like set up the chalk and do the speed part of it, because you got to get comfortable just letting that spin carry it all the way over there, because you can hit it so soft with the right amount of spin. And like what it sounds like you should do is like train your subconscious that it can actually rely on the spin, and it will stop compensating for that lack of trust by hitting it harder. So if you teach yourself, hey, you know what? If I use a tip and a half of left English and just think smooth and just stroke the ball, like teaching your subconscious that it can actually rely on that will just completely change your game. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Because it's the fact that your subconscious doesn't actually know that it can trust the spin. Because hitting hard always means, you know what? I don't trust the spin. I'll get us there. And I'll get us there by, like you said, like muscling it, trying to force the cue baller on the table. Like you can get a ridiculous amount of travel with just the right stroke. I mean, it's stupid. Like, for example, let's say we're going here, right? So I can get all the way back to near this circle if it goes exactly the way that I'm planning. But you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with just a nice smooth stroke with a lot of right English. Or scratch. See, you knew that was coming. Aha! I hope you're giggling. I know I am. Let's try another attempt, shall we? That was hot. All right. That was I'm just, Okay. Same attempt. Same result. At least I'm consistent. Don't trust a single thing I say, Ron. This is that moment where you're just like, this guy's full of shit. All right. We're going to do a straight on angle, okay? Because clearly that was hot. That was just like, okay. Now, we're going to demonstrate. The cue ball, if it doesn't scratch, will move very far, but I will feel like I'm not stroking the ball very hard. I'm just going to be smooth, and you'll also notice my cue follows through a long ways. That's another thing. Not only thinking smooth, but really following through. Because I want your cue to be like a foot past the ball, but smoothly. So this is what it looks like if it doesn't scratch. Caveat. Because I can tell you for a fact, I did not hit that very hard. Try it this way. It really needs no angle. Okay. But again, just go nice and smooth. I didn't have to muscle that. But if you muscle that exact same shot, then it's gonna go down the tangent line more, first of all, because it's more of a stun shot. But if you really muscle the shot, that's when you can get up over here. But again, like let's say, as you talked about, like 2 or 3 rail, position shots like these. This is another one that is good to work on. Yeah, let's say this one. This is a good one to practice the smooth stroke on. Smooth stroke, long follow through. Because you can get, down here-ish. You want to hit a lot of top right, but smooth. That's the only way that you actually get there. See how smooth? And again, you get plenty of travel, and then you can adjust from there. But notice, it's not this. That stroke is not this stroke. Because you notice how I hit it as hard as possible, but basically got to the same spot? Physically speaking, that shouldn't work that way. But if you just go nice and smooth, see how you basically get to the same spot? And not only that, but you also increase your shot making percentage because the pocket's going to play nicer the slower you shoot it. Same thing here. Or let's say we're doing this. We're going to do low left like this. And again, it's just nice and smooth. You don't have to hit it very hard. But I think of all the things that matter the most, yes, smooth is really important, but the follow through, the length of the follow through and the style of the follow through are the most important. Like for this shot, we're going to go up here and then like this. But the stroke has to be very, very smooth for that to work. You need a lot of right spin. Oh, that happens too. And especially on these shots, you want to draw off the rail. This is another one where you can't punch this ball. You have to stroke this ball. Those shots. Those are great to work on your stroke because there's no way to get there without that smoothness. Or there. Oh, never a doubt. But yeah, I mean, I hope that stuff's helpful. And I'm more than happy to help you in any way I can as far as like these shots. A lot of people don't know this shot. Maybe they do. I don't know. But let's say you're right here. This isn't necessarily a long shot, but it does matter how you stroke the ball. You're going to cut it in this corner with low right, draw to the rail, and then spin downward that way. But again, your stroke is super important. Because again, the cue ball still had to travel all the way to here and all the way to here, but I didn't hit it very hard. It was just kind of like a nice, easy follow through. Or these shots are also shots that get overhit a lot. So let's say you've got this angle. You can use top right and watch how softly I'm going to hit this ball and how far it actually goes. See that? I barely hit that ball, but I trusted that the spin itself was going to move it all the way down the table. So yeah, that's a lot of shit, but I love teaching stuff. I love explaining the intricacies of things. What do we got? They're different stroke for sure. Yeah. Slowing my mind down enough to stroke the ball and consciously think about only a tip or so of English. Yeah. So, okay. So another question, when you're overhitting stuff, are you using too much spin and hitting it too hard? Do you notice? And what I mean by that question is are you throwing the object ball offline and hitting it too hard? Like, do you actually miss the shot more of the time, or do you make the shot and get the shape not right? Too much of both. Okay. And you use a maple shaft, right? Is it low deflection or not low deflection? Yes, maple. Okay. Maple shaft, 6-core, somewhat low, or G core. Okay, that's a McDermott then, right? I think. So those are tricky because, and especially I'll tell you for sure that that those McDermott cues, really anything that's not like actually low deflection, like branded or carbon fiber, composite, whatever. They're tricky because if you don't know exactly how it throws the ball and at what speed it changes that, that's going to make the shot a lot more difficult than it needs to be in this day and age. Because I started off with a McDermott $200 cue. I don't remember exactly what it was. Just like a standard cue. And when I was learning this type of stuff, I was so frustrated because I was like trying to learn how to use top right. And at the time, I didn't quite understand like the difference between deflection and throw, and that the speed that you're hitting the ball at and how you stroke it affect both of those things, which obviously affects where the object ball is going to go specifically. All that jargon aside, I think that the number one thing you have to know with your cue is like, okay, if you're overpowering shots a lot, and if you're missing the ball and missing your shape, I think if you set those drills up and you, whatever English you think you need, just go like half the distance. So if the ball's like this, this, I'll just use a damn ball. Gosh, it's 2020. Let's do something logical. So if you're like, normally this is top right, I think. So if normally you're hitting about right here or right here and you're hitting at like a 6 or 7 out of 10, just go, if this is the center of the ball, just go slightly more toward the center, not a ton, and then just focus on just smooth. Like your cue should be like, heh, and not like that. Because if you do this, there's no chance for that spin to take. And with the deflection of your cue, the more English you have, the more it's going to deflect in general. And if it deflects more and you're hitting it harder, it's going to deflect more. The English is then going to throw the object ball more, which in turn makes the shot harder and makes it harder to know where the cue ball is going to go and how it's going to go there. But I mean, honestly, like another way to go, if you're trying to learn your cue, if you're like, okay, that all sounds fine and good, but like I feel like I know my cue really well, but I just haven't quite like wielded it properly yet. Like I haven't like mastered how to use it perfectly. Then I think what you do is you set up a shot that you've missed recently. And let's say it was, something like I had a shot the other day where it's like, you've got your last ball is here and it's like this and this or something like that, right? So like sticker this shot up, because this is one of those shots that's really easy to overhit and have bad things happen. Where are we going here? Okay, so the goal here is you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So that's a long way for the cue ball to travel. And if you punch at that ball, there is no freaking way in hell. You're going to end up right down here because you're going to power it in. It's just going to have enough spin to go off this rail and start its track, but it's probably going to stop somewhere in this vicinity. So this is another one that I would suggest sticking up. It's basically this ball is right off the spot into this corner, and these balls are lined up to right here, basically 5, 10, 0, 5, maybe 4. And what you're trying to do is that, but like, so with my cue, I'll explain how I know how the deflection and throw works with this cue, because I said before, this doesn't deflect, but it throws a lot. So I am, okay. It's that sip of beer. Nothing broke. Okay. So this ball with top right, high inside, I actually have to aim it right here, which is super weird. But I have to aim the 4 ball right here because it's going to throw it right here. And then the cue ball is going to travel in the path that I want. But if I aim the center pocket, I would miss it over to this side because the cue ball is going to throw that ball. So I know that I need to aim that to that side of the pocket. Like that. I didn't stroke it quite a ways, but you can see that it was heading right here. So again, like that's the type of shot where if you have your follow through and your stroke correct, like it'll work, and if you don't, it just will not work. See, if you aim that to where you normally make it, my cue throws it offline. But with my other cue, if I use my Predator cue, this was the one that I played with for a long time. I love how it looks. It's a Predator Icon 2 with a 314-2 shaft. So this, I actually will aim to the center of the pocket because that's how this shaft works. But I know the difference between them. So I have to aim this one center pocket. See how that works? So I knew that this cue would work that way, but you just saw me miss the same exact shot right here with this shaft. So not only are you learning speed control, follow through, and whatever, but you're learning your specific shaft and how it actually reacts to things. So like I said, I've got to aim for that side of the corner pocket to get the exact same result with this cue. But like I said before, the stroke is what's getting me there. If I hit it really, really hard, I might still get to that spot, but it'll probably go past the 6 ball if I hit it just right. Or it'll just not work at all. See? The harder I hit that, the more it threw it. So, perfect example is, if I'm going to hit that ball that hard, I probably have to aim it to here to make that ball. Because it throws it even more the harder I hit it. Still didn't work. So that's about as hard as I can hit that ball. But just to say, even if it's like this or whatever, I don't know if you can see any of that. Even if it's like this, and it's got a long, long way to go, it's still just that smooth stroke that's going to get you there. It's got to be really smooth, though. But regardless, I mean, that's the kind of stuff that if you work on that over and over and over, and like basically just like reverse engineer your equipment, figure out exactly what it does. And as you learn, I just need to, like with this shaft, if I want to make this ball and get over here 3 rails later, I need to aim it to this place and I need to stroke it like this. And then anytime you come up to that shot in a match, you're going to shoot it the right way and you're not going to be blasting it and stuff. But yeah, I hope that's helpful for you, man. And like, let me know how that's going. Because I feel like so many players don't really know how to objectively look at their games and go like, oh, okay, these are the things that I'm not doing the way that I want to be doing them. But like, how do I? Yeah, no problem, man. Anytime. Like, how do I actually remove those weaknesses from my game? Like, excuse me. So I was telling Eric the other day, basically the exact same stuff, but I was like, the difference between like really good players and like pretty good players is that the really good players just have fewer weaknesses. It's not that they're like, magically like, oh, I'm just going to be better than this person no matter what, like, and there's nothing you can do about it. If you literally just take it and go, all right, like, I'm just going to take a damn journal and I'm going to play 9 ball, and maybe you can try this, I don't know, but like, video record yourself for like an hour or half an hour, 45 minutes. Play whatever game you want. 9 ball, 8 ball, does not matter. But I want you to record yourself, and then when you watch it back, have a notebook or a Word doc of some kind, and literally make a list, a literal list, and be like, okay, when I used low left, it missed to the right side of the pocket, and the cue ball landed here. Fucking write it down. Next time I tried to use top spin to get to this position window, I overran it. Write it down. Like, literally, if you can make a list, you're going to empower yourself to go so far, so fast, because you're going to say, all right, I've got these 10 things that I can literally just read and say, oh, these are the glaring issues in my game that I want to fix. Then your practice sessions are literally just, hey, I'm going to work on number 2 today. Number 2 is using topspin to get to an exact location. Make you a frickin' circle or a piece of paper. You can even use a frickin' piece of paper and set it down where the cue ball is supposed to land. Grab the little aramith dots or a piece of chalk or whatever marker you want to like put the balls in the same spots. I recommend those aramith dots. They're freaking great. You can get them on Amazon pretty cheaply, but if you set those things up and do that, it's like, I have been videotaping my practice sessions lately to watch back and check those. Perfect. That's awesome. Yeah, man. And just like, because you could probably eliminate 5 things that you're currently struggling with in like a week. And like, literally, you don't struggle with them anymore. Like, I used to miss side pockets a lot. I had all these shots and I felt good about most of my game. And then I'd come up to a side pocket and I'd miss it. And I'd turn the game back over. You want to know what I did? I set up a difficult side pocket shot. I shot it 300 times, cutting it to the right and cutting it to the left inside of 2 days. I don't really miss side pockets anymore. That's all it took. Done. Removed the weakness. It's like, it's crazy. Struggle bus shots. Yeah. I'd be interested to see, we might even, it might even be fun sometime to do like a session where like you're playing and I'm kind of there, and like we can like talk about some things. You're like, okay, this is what just happened, or like, this is what I want to do, or whatever. And like, it might be helpful too to just kind of have a second set of eyes on certain shots to see if there's something that you're like, because I would be able to see something that you might not. Like, oh, like every time you do this, I notice that you like your arm curves a little bit, or something small like that. Like, I've been watching everybody in the tournament, and like when people miss balls, like I say it like in one of my videos, it's like, if you're missing a ball, it's usually because something in your mechanics moved. It's not usually that you've aimed it improperly. It's usually a mechanical issue. Like, I've literally seen some people, including myself, but like I've seen people in the tournament where I'm like, I watch them miss the ball and I'm like, do they know that they go like this every time they miss a ball? Like, do they know that? They probably don't. But if they, were objective and saw it, they'd be like, oh, I'm going to train myself to be aware of my back arm. It's just, there's so much to learn. But like, honestly, as Tor says, like he's so smart, and like, he I have some old tired eyes shirt. He has some great stuff about like, player A and player B. And, we're obviously players that are always trying to improve, like always trying to learn what we're not doing well, always trying to like study our own game, study this. Like it's so helpful to be your own coach, to look at your game objectively and go like, man, like what is it that I want out of my game that I'm not getting right now? Like it's just there are so many things to know, and you know, like some, and then you've got some players that are like, uh, you know, everything needs to be simple and don't use English and whatever and don't use draw and all this stuff, and I'm like, okay, sure, you've got different classes of players and you've got different styles of play, and you know, sometimes people that don't practice shots that require English don't use much English. But I don't like that they then tell other people to not use English. English is a huge part of the game. I use English, I'll tell you, I use English on pretty much every single shot. It doesn't mean it's right. I'm not going to tell you it's right. But for me, I throw in every single ball. Even if it's straight in, I'll use low left and I'll compensate to throw it in. I just trust English so much because I've learned to use it, and I've learned that it can make shots so much easier to throw balls in and stuff. Working on being my own best coach, sometimes second eyes work best. Sure, yeah. I mean, it's a thing, man. Like, but I tell you what, second set of eyes or not, if you make a list like that and you look at your game and you've got that list of however many items it is that you notice that you consistently have a gap on, and you just start attacking those, oh my gosh, dude, you're going to go, whew. I've seen it. I've done it myself. I've seen it in other people. Like, it's crazy how much better you get instantly if you just stop playing and trying to analyze and just literally just like extract the weakness and look at it and go, oh, okay, that's what that is. I don't want to do that anymore. You know, I've learned to try to use center ball as in English on shots as well. Sure. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with center ball at all. Nothing at all. You know, but like for me, it's like I just try to, you're talking about like if you're cutting a ball using center but just like cheating the pocket to kind of control its route afterward, or what do you mean by that specifically? I'm curious. Tangent line. Okay. Sure. So you're trying to use the tangent line to manipulate the. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. So you're talking about a stun shot. That's what you're talking about. You're talking about using the tangent line to send the cue ball down a line it's naturally going to go down, instead of using low left. You're just hitting it firmer using the tangent line with a titch of left or something. Knowing tangent line to better know the path of the cue ball. Oh, yeah, for sure. And it's actually, as we've said before, Tor is so knowledgeable. And I really, really started, I noticed a huge difference in my game with tangent line, because when I was learning about it and he was explaining it in his videos, I'm just like, yeah, like I get it, but I wasn't there yet. I wasn't ready for it. But like now, you know, I see, you know, tangent line's right here. If I come off tangent line, I'm coming straight across for the 6 ball. But here's the thing. So I don't shoot this ball with center or center low. I shoot this ball with a titch of low right, and I actually aim it right here to get there. But see, that, like I said, that's because I use English on every single shot. So my whole game is built around throwing a ball in and then manipulating the path otherwise. But like, yeah, you know that cute tangent line should make this scratch. Should. But again, I had draw on that. But yeah, dude, tangent line's huge. Another video I'm going to make down the road is using side pockets to basically get anywhere on the table. like using side pockets to do something like this, like super soft shot with a ton of right English to come out like this. Just it's so you're stroking it so slowly, but with so much English, and that cue ball just moves. But you can get literally like anywhere on the table from a side pocket, like literally. And it's just amazing how slowly you can stroke a ball, but how far the cue ball will move, and it's in such a like artistic way. I mean, it's amazing when you start learning how to just let the ball roll. Or this shot, this one's a fun one to work on. Pulling this back for here, but not slamming it, like stroking the ball like this, like just like stroking it. See how softly I hit that and how far it went? That's the stroke, because you're letting the ball move. You're letting that cue ball actually have the revolutions to come back. And then you can use more and more English. Again, I'm going to have to aim this all over here with low left to come out like this. But you can really start aiming low. And again, I'm not hitting it hard, but the cue ball moved a considerable distance. But yeah, I mean, that stroke is everything, especially on those. Yeah. I learned a ton from watching Tor's stuff. Like, but you actually have to work on it. You actually have to do it. But man, it's great. Yeah. Drag draw, exactly. Yep. 100%, man. Yeah, I'm excited to see your match tomorrow, and or today rather. And I'm excited to see how you tackle some things that you want to change. I worked on drag draw to get shape as well. That's the hard one. Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't really know drag draw. I haven't really heard that. Is it like where it drags along the tangent line and then comes back, basically? I guess I haven't heard that exact phraseology before. So instead of hitting the same draw shot, slow enough to stop it in line with the side pockets. Okay, so are you saying that, like, so you're talking about drawing it like this and stopping here? Or does it come back? Drag draw. Yeah, I guess I'm having trouble understanding it. Yeah, maybe I'm just not getting it. Draw a picture. It's controlling the forward speed of the cue ball with draw so it doesn't pull back as far. Okay. Okay, so it's more of a stun shot with a little bit of draw, basically. So it's going to come across more like this. Same angular shield. So you're talking about like just having it not move, like, because that's obviously not a draw shot. That's basically just above the tangent line. Yeah, I'd have to see you do it. I don't think I'm going to be able to. Not that angle. What is the angle? Oh, okay, I think I know what you're saying. This, right? And I was pulling it back there. Is that the one? Oh, I think I know what you mean. You mean basically like coming off like this and just coming out like that, right? Yeah. Okay. I knew I'd get there eventually. Yeah. Okay. I know what you're saying now. Yeah. So this one I would use low right and kind of like this. Okay. Let me do it again. But I think I know what you're saying. See, with this cue, I actually need to aim that even further that way. Drag, draw. Interesting. That was a release shot. Let the cue ball release. All right. I'll see if I can demonstrate what I think you're talking about. Like that, right? Was that right? Or you're talking about it has a little more draw than that? Oh, you said pulling in line with the side pockets. That's what you said. I think. Okay. So you basically just take talking from right here, getting to the center of the table, right? Is that what we're talking about? Using low left, I believe. I think that's what we're talking about. Yeah. That makes sense. But you said a little more draw than that. In that case, like that, roughly. I think that's probably in the range of what you're talking about. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think that's what you're talking about. At least that's the closest I think I can get with what we're talking about. But yeah, that's like you're basically talking about holding for position, like something like this. Like if you just had to come back a little bit, well, that's not even like this. If you had to come back just a little bit for the 8-ball. Like that, right? Is that the shot? Sweet! Now we're there. Because it just, okay, so I think the situation that you might be referring to the most then would be like if you've got this going on. You've got something like that. Yeah, something like this, where you're just trying to pull the cue ball back and have it stop right in this range from here. I think that's what you mean. Like that. Right? Okay. Yes. Yes, that is a super, super helpful shot to have. Yeah, like I think saying here is like when you've got a shot that's near a ball you want to have a shape on, but you have to basically decelerate it enough, but not too much. So what I really focus on with these shots is I hit as low on the ball as I possibly can and just hit it thick. Because the thicker you hit it, the more of its energy it's going to give away. So if you hit it a little bit thinner, it's going to have more energy. So I'm actually aiming this ball almost full with a lot of low, a nice smooth stroke, and then miscuing. Because that's, you know, of course. It's been the only one I've had all night, surprisingly. But yeah, when you're trying to hold shape for that 8-ball. Yeah. Just trying to keep in that little window like that. Totally. That's a huge shot. Sometimes used with the sharper angle. Sure. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, in my world, I would always just, to me, I just think of it as like, yeah, like holding the cue ball. Like how do I hold the cue ball in this range and like, yeah, there we go. Yeah, how do I hold the cue ball in this range and like keep the position that it had roughly, but basically use low to like pop it in there instead of trying to soft roll it, or use some other crazy like magicry to get it around the thing. Decelerating cue prior to hitting object ball. Yeah, exactly. And that's a shot you can't explain. Like you have to literally get that feel for sure. Like it's one of those shots where, you know, your subconscious is the only one that actually knows how to do that. Try to explain to someone, it's like, yeah. Drag, draw. Okay. Now I know. Cool. Yeah, man. It's freaking great. Well, hey, I'm going to get heading out. It's been great hanging out with you. And like I said, man, go get them later tonight. I'll definitely be tuning in and cheering you on. And yeah, like I said, man, just fucking trust that break of yours that you know you have, and don't start your run out till you know, man. Know exactly how you're going to do everything, but you're going to do great. All right, buddy. Have a good night. Anybody else that's here, have a good night as well. We'll do it soon for sure. All right, man. Take care.